गणपतये नमः। ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारम् व्याप्तं येन चराचरम् तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ॐ दुं दुर्गायै नमः। So we have come to the chapter which deals with Mahishasura Mardhana. So let us start with Dhyana Shloka of this chapter. ॐ उद्यद्भानुसहस्रकान्तिम् अरुणाक्षौमां शिरोमालिकाम् रक्तालिप्तपयोधरां जपवटीं विद्यामभीतिं वरम् हस्ताब्जैर्दधतीं त्रिनेत्रविलसत् वक्त्रारविन्दश्रियम् देवीं बद्धहिमांशुरत्नमुकुटां वन्दे रविन्दस्थिताम्. It's a beautiful Dhyana Shloka which describes Mahalakshmi. How is she? Udyat Bhanu Sahasrakanti. Her radiance is so strong, vibrant, like Sahasra, thousands of suns put together. How bright it would be. Like that she is radiant. Arunakshaumam, and she is adored with red linen cloth. That means she is emitting that redness around her as if it is a garment on her. That is with so much of Rajoguna, Rajas. Shiromalikam, and she's wearing that Rundamala around her neck. Raktalipta Payodharam, and her chest, the breasts, are covered with Rakta, the blood. Japavatim Vidyam Abhitim Varam Hastabjai Dadhatim. In her hands, she is holding Japavatim, that is Akshamala. Vidyam, that is Pustaka. Abhitim, that is Abhaya Hasta. Varam, Varada Hasta, she is holding. Trinetra Vilasat, and all her three eyes are dallying. It is moving around. Vidyam, Vilasat, Vakraravinda Shriyam. Where are they? Those three. In that lotus-like face, which is so auspicious, Shriyam, and radiant, in that all the three eyes are Vilasat. They are dallying with so much of brightness, creating auspiciousness. So what can we take from this? It is representing the human beings who are in different levels in their spiritual progress. And each one of us will have both negative and positive energies in us, because we are all created by that Shakti, which is Shiva Shakti. So, one who is fully dubbed in delusion, one who is deluded totally, one who has that negative qualities a lot in them, they are perceiving and seeing that Mahalakshmi in that battlefield, or in our sadhana, or in our bhakti devotion. How do they see her? She looks like very bright, radiant Shakti. And she's covered with red cloth, and also she's wearing Rundamala, and she's fully dubbed with blood on her chest. That is how they are perceiving. The people who are deluded with lots of negative qualities in them. The minute they look at her, these things are attracting their mind. Whereas one who is able to see who she is with so much of positive qualities in them, positive thoughts in them, one who is close to the soul, they see her as one with Akshamala, Abhaya, giving Abhaya, the fearlessness, Varada, one who is ready to give the Vara, and of all the things, Vilasat Vakrara Vindashriyam, and her face is not fearful. It is not the different kind of tejas which is attracting them, but that Vilasat Netra, all the three netras. So even they are perceiving all the three physical two eyes plus that Jnana Chakshu are opened. So they are seeing her with that beauty in her, which is creating auspiciousness in them. Devim Baddha Himamshu Ratna Mukutam. And the next thing which is attracting their attention is the mukuta, the crown, gem-studded crown, which is having that Ardha Chandra. One day, oh, I go down to that Devi, who is Aravinda Sthitam, one who is sitting on the lotus. Why is it so? Aravinda Sthitam, she is sitting on the lotus. A devotee with so much of positive energy in him, positive thoughts, close to that Devi as my own consciousness, Devi in conscious form. Those people, they have come up in the understanding of Devi, which comes from the slush, which is samsara. And from that samsara, the lotus has risen up. And it is pure, without any attached to that slush, muddy slush. It is pure and clean. That is the prapancha. That is that Akhilanda. On that, Devi is sitting. That means Sthita. She has established herself on the lotus, which is pure. Below that is the slush as samsara. So, she is the reigning goddess Akhilandeshwari, Brahmanda Nayika, Mahalakshmi, who is taking care of both the lotus under her and also the slush, which is samsara. See how beautiful this concept is. And it is also a way for devotee and the seeker, a guidance, how to rise up. So she is protecting both, but the way she protects the slush, samsara, are the ones who are dubbed with negativity, delusion, who are feeling the slush as their world. She protects them also. But the way she protects them, the process, the instruments she uses, the weapons she uses are different. And the lotus, which is the pure Anandamaya world, for them, also she protects, but using different instruments, different weapons. And there on top she is there, blessing them both. Isn't it beautiful? Om Rishiruvacha Nihanyamanam Tatsainyam Avalokya Mahasuraha Senanishchikshurat Kopat Yayo Yodhumatambikam. And then Rishi spoke. What did he say? Having seen Nihanyamanam Tat Sainyam, having seen that army which is totally defeated, being slain, that Mahasura, Senani, the commander, Chikshura, he came forward with so much of anger. Kopat Yayo, he came with so much of anger to fight with, battle with Devi. Ambika. Another name, Ambika. Sadevim Sharavashena Vavarsha Samare Suraha Yatha merugire shrungam toyavarshena toyadah. Sadevim sharavarshena vavarsha. He showered innumerable arrows on Devi, just like that Megha, the cloud, showers, the thick cloud showers the rain on Merugira, on the mountain Meru. Just like the rain water falls on Meru, like that, Chikurasura's arrows was showered on Devi. What does it say? Devi is that positive Rajoguna, like a sturdy, huge rock. She's like that. She's like the Meru. And Shara, that arrow, is falling on her as though they're rainwater on a rock, on Parvata. It will have no impact on Devi. In Kannada, there is a saying, Gor kalla mele male huidante, as though the rain falls on the rock. Whatever we say, whatever happens, it never impacts. Like that. This Devi is like that Meru Parvata, so strong, sturdy, firm. It's so huge in positivity. On that, these arrows are only like raindrops. Tasya chitva tato devi lelayaiva shirotkaran jaghana turagan banaihi antara antaram chaiva vajinam. Then Devi Chitwa, she just broke, she split the bow. Leelayaiva, as though it is a sport, as though it is a game, with so much of ease. She just cut off all the arrows, split them. And Jaghana, she also killed the horses with her arrows. Antaram, the horse rider. Chaiva Vajinam, even the horse. She killed all of them. Chicheda cha dhanus sadyo dhvajam chati samuchritam vivyadha chaiva gatreshu chinna dhanvanamashugai. And then she split the bow. She split the arrows first, all the showering arrows, and then she also broke the bow of that Chikurasura, and also the Dhwaja, the flag which was flying high up in the air, which was hoisted. That also she tore. Not only that, Vivyadha Chaiva Gatreshu. She also pierced her arrows on the body of Chikurasura. Chinna Dhanvana Mashugaihi. Through her arrows, she shattered. Both bows and arrows are gone from Chikurasura. Satchinna Dhanva Viratho Hatasho Hatasaratihi Abhyadavat Tam Devim Khadga Charmadharo Suraha. Having broken bow, Satchinna Dhanva Viratho, without Ratha, Hatashva, his horses being slain. Hata Saratihi, even his Sarati is also, the driver is also gone. Abhyadavata, in spite of it, he ran towards Devi along with his own khadga and the shield, charma. So this shows Jatti Bidru Mannagalilla. Even though Jatti, the boxer, falls and his mustache is with the dirt of the ground, still he says, nothing has happened to me. I'm going to fight. Again, he gets up. So like that, this Chikurasura, without any help, again and again, he's getting up and trying to fight with Devi. A fallen mind tries its level best to push in the same direction, even though it is wrong. They will be going in the same direction, thinking that after this obstacle, I will be successful. Let me try once again. Let me try once again. Let me try once again. Without realizing the direction is wrong. So it is like a half-baked or incomplete knowledge which leads us in the opposite direction of what the eternal truth is. Simha mahatya khadgena तीक्ष्णधारेण मूर्धनि आजघान भुजे सव्ये देवीमप्यतिवेगवान्. Simhamahatya khadgena, with his khadga, which was very sharp in its edge, with that, this Chikurasura slashed the head of the lion, which was the vehicle of Devi. Ajaghana bhuje savye. Not only that, he also slashed the left shoulder or the arm of Devi with that khadga. Devi apyati vegavan. Very swiftly, he did both the things. What did Devi do next? Tasya khadgo bhujam prapya paphala nrupanandana tato jagraha shulam sa kopadarunalochana. O Nrupanandana, O king, who is listening to the stories which I am telling, you know what happened next? He's creating the interest in him. The minute that khadga touched her left shoulder or the left arm, it broke down. That khadga broke down. That means she's Vajrakaya. She is Vajrakaya with so much of strength in it. She was like solid rock, Meru Giri. So on that, if he puts the khadga, naturally it paphala, it just broke. And he's not stopping at that. He's picking up Jagraha Shulamsa. He picked up that Shula in his hand with so much of anger and with red eyes. Aruna Lochanaha. He became red-eyed with anger. And he's again trying to fight with Devi. So here, as devotee and seeker, we should remember she is Vajrakaya because that Kaya, what is her Kaya? Kaya is nothing but consciousness. She is in the form as consciousness, which is sturdy, eternal, which can never be harmed or destroyed. So with that consciousness, if the false I, the small I, ego I, if it tries to fight, it is like rain showering on the Meru Parvata, or slashing her with khadga is also like trying to cut the rock with a sword. It will never work. There is no success. चिक्षेप च ततस्तत्तु भद्रकाल्यां महासुरः ज्वाज्वल्यमानं तेजोभिः रविबिम्बमिवाम्बरात्. So he hurled that khadga again on Bhadrakali. She was also very strong with so much of Rajoguna in her. She's Bhadrakali. That Mahasura put that spear, lustrous spear, Jajvalyamanam Tejobhi. And as though it was so lustrous, it looked as though it is the sun falling down from the sky on him. It was that lustrous, shining, and bright. So that shows that even Asuras, Sainya, or the Asura, Chikshura, had such wonderful weapon with him to fight with Devi. It's not a small battle. So he had come prepared with his sword, bow and arrow, and also this spear, lustrous one. Drishtva tadapatatchulam Devi shulamunchata Tena tachatadat nitam Shulam sacha mahasuraha. Drishtva, looking at that Shula which was coming from that Asura falling on her, she also quickly sent her Shula against him. That broke that Asura's Shula into 100 pieces. Tat Shatadha, that is 100 pieces. And Shulam Sacha Mahasuraha, and it shattered that spear into 100 pieces. And also the great demon, along with that, she also killed Chikurasura. Hate tasmin mahavirye Mahishasya chamupatau Ajagama gajarudha Chamara stridashardana. Having seen this commander Chikurasura being slain, being killed by Devi, Chamara, who is the oppressor or the enemy of Devas, he came how? On Gajarudha. He came on elephant to attack the Sainya of Devi. Sopi Shaktim Mumochatha Devyastamam Vikadrutam Humkarabhihatam Bhumau Patayamasa Nishprabham. So when he hurled that Chamara, hurled Shakti, that spear on Devi, Drutam, quickly, at once, Devi struck that spear with humkara. So she used that humkara bihatam bhumam. She uses that humkara as the shield. It is true. Even when we want to charge at someone, along with the hands, eyes, and the movement, we use the word with kopa. So that also scares the person, knowing that I am really, really angry. My whole being is angry on him. That makes such an impact on him. So it is acting like another shield. So with that vigor, she gave that humkara as well to scare him. And what did she do? Pataya masa nishprabham. That spear fell down, being ineffective. Totally, its prabha, its effect was totally gone, and it just fell down. So these are all the things which Devi is telling us. Whenever we go with negative quality as our weapon, it will never work or stand strong in front of the positive energy and the truth. So we might pose as though our weapons are very strong, being negative, but it will not stand erect in front of the positive energy. So if we understand it in the beginning itself, if we are going in the wrong direction, negative direction, pause, think, should I proceed in this direction or should I step back? We will be saved. There won't be any fight. There won't be any battle. भग्नां शक्तिं निपतितां दृष्ट्वा क्रोधसमन्वितः चिक्षेप चामरः शूलं बाणैस्तदपि साच्छिनत् भग्नां शक्तिं निपातितां दृष्ट्वा, seeing his spear being broken and falling down ineffective, his anger filled him thoroughly. He became very angry. And then hurled the spear, which was also split into pieces by Devi. Banais tadapi satchinate. Even that was destroyed by Devi. ततः सिंहः समुत्पत्य गजकुम्भान्तरे स्थितः बाहुयुद्धेन युयुधे तेनोच्चैस्त्रिदशारिणाम्. So the vehicle of Devi, which is lion, he used his brain and he at once jumped up and clung very tightly to the kumbha of that elephant on which this Rakshasa was sitting, Chamara. There itself, that Simha is carrying Devi on his back and he's clinging onto the forehead of Gaja on which Chamara is sitting. And both of them started fighting there itself. That too, what type of yuddha? Bahu yuddha. In their, it's a fist fight. They did with one another. Tenochaihi Tridasharina, the enemy of Devatas, that is Chamara. Yudhyamanau tatastau tu tasman nagan mahim gatau yudhate tissamrabdhau praharai darunai. Both of them who were fighting there up, both of them came down at once. Tasmat Nagat, here Naga refers to the elephant. Naga means snake, that is one meaning. Another meaning for Naga is the elephant. So from that elephant, Nagat, Mahim, onto the ground, onto the earth, Gatau, having come down to the ground, both of them again spontaneously. Yuyudhate atisamrabdhau. Spontaneously they started fighting there also on the ground. So both of them are using Rajoguna to the maximum. Devi with positive Rajoguna, Chamara with negative Rajoguna. Tato vegat khamutpatya nepatya cha mrugarina karaprahareణ shirah chamarasya pruthak kritam. And Simha, Mrugarina, he didn't sit quiet. He at once sprang up to the sky and came down, slashing on the head of Chamara, and he separated the head from his body. So that's how Chamara was killed. Chamarasya pruthak kritam, from the body, through karapraharena. By his paw, he started pouncing and breaking it away from the body. Udagrashcharane devya shila vrikshadibhirhatah danta mushti talaishchaiva karalascha nipatitah. And Devi also attacked many other asuras in different ways. Udagra was killed in the battle by Devi using Shila, the stones or the rocks, Vriksha, the trees, and many other things she used and killed him. And Karala, even he was struck down by using Danta, her teeth, Mushti, the fist, and Tala, that is the feet. With these three things, she brought him down. Karala, another Rakshasa. Devi Kriddha Gadapataihi Churnayamasa Chodhatam Bashkalam Bindipalena Banaistamram Tathandhakam. Then that enraged Devi with so much of anger, Uddhata, with the blows of her club, she killed him. Bashkala, he was also killed by her dart, the rod with sharp edge. With the dart, Bindipala, she killed him, Bashkala. And Tamra, and Andhaka, Asura. These two, she killed them with her arrows. Ugrasyam Ugraviryam cha tathaiva cha mahahanum Trinetra cha trishulena jaghana parameshwari. Ugrasya. Ugrasya is another Rakshasa. Ugravirya is another one, Rakshasa. Mahahanu is another Rakshasa. All the three were killed by Devi's Trishula, who had 3 eyes. Devi who had 3 eyes, Trinetra, Trishula. And she is that Parameshwari. She is the one who killed these 3 Rakshasas with her Trishula. See the beauty there. All these 3 Rakshasas, Ugrasya, one who has the face which is speaking nothing but anger, Ugra. Ugravirya, one who is valorous because of his anger. Mahahanu, one who has a huge jaw. That means he's using that as his weapon. And all the 3 were killed as though by 3 the edge of her Trishula. So at once. So 3 negative energies being handled by her brilliantly. Bidalasyaasina kayat patayamasa vaishirah Durdharam durmukham chobhau Sharair nityeyamashkshayam. Bidala, he was killed, another Asura, by the sword. How? She just separated his shiras from the body. This speaks a lot. Bidala, another negative energy. If she cuts off the shiras, that means what? That is what even Shiva did to Ganapati, Ganesha. Because of his ego in Ganesha, Shiva had to take out only that ego from Ganesha. So he cut off the head. In the same way, if we seek a devotee or cut off that negative head, which is Bidala, and certainly she fixes the positive head just by the touch of her soul, we are able to become positive. So it is not necessary that it is the physical head, but the physical, the mental head, the mind. If that is tackled by Devi, we are all blessed. We should pray that, O Devi, Maa Durga, Maa Mahalakshmi, cut off my Bidala head, the mind, and grace me with the right kind of shiras through which I will carry on this body and the mind in the positive way as a weapon in this journey. Bidala asyasina kayat patayamasa vaishirah. And Durdhara, Durmukha, both of them were sent to the abode of Yama. Yamakshayam towards Yama by the arrow. Sharaihi Ninye, she sent them. So these demons are nothing but the negative, strong energies which are there in us, in all the beings. So we recognize, we don't even recognize that it is there in us. We are living with it, but we don't know. Only when we come face to face with Devi, face to face with that consciousness, all these negative qualities will try to project itself so that I can stay as I am an individual. My body is what I am. I am this mind. I am this intellect. I am this individual. That becomes stronger and stronger. So I will use all these demons in us hidden. They all will come out to fight for the preservation of this body and mind as I am. So if we see what they are representing, we will be really stunned. And we all have it. But we don't know, we don't recognize it. Only when we face to face come with consciousness, then the mind understands. So what is it? Chikshura. Chikshura. That means it is incomplete knowledge. Chamara, which vacillates, moves from this side to that side to this side to that side. So the vacillating mind, which goes in favor of comfort, pleasures, and easily it moves around. It is not firm. Udagra, Ut-agra, one who has that superiority complex in them and that haughtiness. So their arrogance also builds up very quickly. Mahahanu, one who has the big jaw, that means the greed and trickery in pursuing one's agenda. Mahahanu is ready to chew, cut, and make it paste and gulp it. Any amount, any kind, any intensity, he wants to greedily take it within him. Mahahanu. That's also there. Asiloma. Asi means sharp, like the sword. Loma is the hair. So one who has the hair all around the body, which are like the sharp edge of the sword. So that means selfishness and then insensitivity to all around, to the well-being of others. He will be like that Asilom. That's also not good at all. When we want to take the whole universe as my own self, then I have to have that love and embracing everything within me. That is not possible. And then Bidala, that's also hurling abuses on others, Bidala, and insulting others. That also is there. Durdhara, one who has desires and negative things in them as their nature. Durdara, negativity, filled with negativity. Durmukha, one who always spits out two words which are always negative. Those type of people are also there in this world. Nothing comes positive. The first thing they see is negatively what these people are, what everything is. That is Durmukha, Durdhara. So these are all the qualities which we all have. But we should recognize and tackle them from the beginning itself. So, एवं संक्षीयमाणे तु स्वसैन्ये महिषासुरः माहिषेण स्वरूपेण त्रासयामास तान् गणान्. Having seen his army being destroyed, the chief king Mahishasura came his own original form as Mahishasura, in the form as a buffalo-faced asura. He came and terrified all these devatas, troubled them. Kashchit, and then he tries to show his power in different ways. And let us see what it is. Kashchit tunda praharena कुरक्षेपैस्तथा परान् लाङ्गूलताडितांश्चान्यान् शृङ्गाभ्यां च विदारितान् वेगेन कांशिदपरान् नादेन भ्रमणेन च निःश्वासपवनेनान्यान् पातयामास भूतले निपात्य प्रमथानीकम् अभ्यदावत सोऽसुरः सिंहं हन्तुं महादेव्या कोपं चक्रे ततोऽम्बिका सोऽपि कोपान् महावीर्यः खुरक्षुण्णमहीतलः शृङ्गाभ्यां पर्वतानुच्चान् चिक्षेप च ननाद च वेगभ्रमणविक्षुण्णा महीतस्य व्यशीर्यत लाङ्गूलेनाहतश्चाब्धिः प्लावयामास सर्वतः. He, Mahishasura, laid them down on the ground, some with the blow of his muzzle, some with the stamping of the hooves, others by lashing his tail, and others poking with his horns, and others with impulsive great speed, others with bellowing and wheeling, others with his heavy breath. The army of goblins being laid down, that demon rushed towards Devi's lion to kill. Then Ambika was very angry at this. She was bewildered. Valorous Mahishasura pounded the earth with his hooves, tossed up the high mountains with his horns, and bellowed heavily. Crushed by the speed of his wheeling, the earth disintegrated. Lashed by his tail, the sea overflowed all around. So he was so negative that he was able to bring cosmic imbalance. It is not just the devatas, but the whole cosmos was troubled. He brought it to imbalance. Dhutashunga vibhinnascha Khandam khandam yayurdhanah श्वासानिलास्ताः शतशो निपेतुर्नभसोचनाः. And he didn't stop at that. Dhutashringa vibhinnascha, with his swaying horns, because he was moving around swiftly. He was so huge, like Mahishasura. With moving head, the horns were piercing the clouds, making it go pieces every way. Chidra, khanda, khanda. Yayurghana, thick clouds were broken into pieces. So you can well visualize this. When the negativity becomes so strong, that person is able to destroy and create havoc, not only to the people around in the room, but they can make the whole country also, the whole Bhumandala also very terrific, troubled, and there will be so much of imbalance. We saw how he did. And here it is another demonstration how behaving, how he is affecting. With his Shwasanilastaha Shatasho Nipetuhu Nabhaso Achalaha. So, with his bellowing breath, he cut into pieces the mountains which were way up to the sky. They all became thousands of pieces, hundreds of pieces. Iti krodha samadhyatam apatantam mahasuram drishtva sa chandika kopam tadvadhaya tada karot. Mahishasura, he was swollen up with so much of anger, and he rushing towards Devi. Looking at this Mahishasura, who is like the mountain, he himself as mountain of negativity, coming with so much of krodha. Devi also showed her krodha, kopa, anger on him equally. So the battle is building up and it's becoming more stronger and stronger, because both are filled with Rajoguna, Rajas. Sakshitva tasya vaipasham. Okay, the next one. Sakshitva tasya vaipasham tamba bandha mahasuram tatyaja mahisham rupam sopi baddho mahamrudhe. Mahamrudhe. In that intense battle, what happened? Sa, that Devi, she, kshiptva tasya vaipasham, she threw her pasha, the noose, around that Mahishasura and tied him up. So he became baddha. He was bound in this intense battle. At once, he gave up that Mahishasura Swarupa. He gave up at once. So, as she tied tightly the pasha around that buffalo form, he gave up that form at once, being tied up. What did he become? Tatha simho bhavat sadyo yavat tasyambika shirah chinatti tavat purushah khadgapanirudashyayat. Tatha, and then he became Simha. He assumed the form as his form as Simha, the lion. And at once Devi cut off the head of that Simha. As she cut off, at once he became Purusha. He assumed the form as a man with khadga in his hand. He appeared. Adrishyata. Khadgapani, with holding khadga in his hand. Adrishyata, he appeared. He assumed that Purusha form, Purusha Swarupa. Tat evashu Purusham Devi Chicheda Sayakai Tam Khadga Charmana Sardham Tatha Sobun Mahagaja. At once, suddenly, Devi Chicheda, cut him off. She split that Purusha, who is the assumed form of Mahishasura, with her arrows at once. Then what did he do? That Asura, with the sword and the shield, he took another form as Mahagaja, the huge elephant. And what did he do? Karena cha Mahasimham tam cha karsha jagarjaja karshatastu karam devi khadgena nirakantata. The minute he became Mahagaja, he took hold of that lion and started dragging with his trunk. Karena. Here Karena means the trunk of that Mahagaja. So when he started dragging that Simha, along with roaring, the roar of the Gaja will be so loud, and with tight grip on that Simha, he dragged. As he was dragging, Devi cut off the trunk itself. Karshatastu Karam Devi. The trunk which was dragging, Devi cut off that with her sword. So here we should understand, when the negativity, when a devotee or the seeker who is trying his level best with so much of Rajoguna in him, positive Rajoguna in him, he's trying to bring up that energy, Rajoguna, towards going towards Devi. So she takes care of that seeker or the devotee, just like she takes care of the lion, which is her vehicle. So this Simha is representing the seeker or the devotee who has totally surrendered and becoming one with the Devi, serving her in her duties. That means the whole Anthakarana, who has surrendered, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chit, all the four are meant for the deeds, helping contributing towards the good deeds of Devi. He naturally becomes the vehicle to carry on the work of Devi as much as possible. So he'll be contributing a lot to the universe as vehicle of Devi. So naturally, as with motherly affection, she takes care of the Simha. So what did she do? At once, she cut off the connection which that Mahishasura was having with this Simha. That means she takes away the negativity. When the seeker has surrendered, by chance, if he comes in touch with any negativity, she sees that, no, it is not for you. Oh, my dear child, come away from that negativity. And she severs the connection of negativity with the seeker. She's after all mother. Because that negativity is also the Rajoguna. Devi is positive Rajoguna. They are using, both of them are using Rajoguna as the means, as the weapon, in which always Devi, the positive energy, wins. Even sadhaka, when in the beginning, he also has to fight out so much in controlling the negative behaviors or the qualities which pops up its head now and then. And he struggles because one mind is telling this is right, but this is also temptingly coming and touching that sadhaka. So he will be going through what lion is going through in this battle. So Devi takes care of the well-being of the sadhaka, like she did to the lion. It is one of the important shlokas or the mantras in this Saptashati. Tanto Mahasuro Bhuyo Mahisham Vapura Sthitah Tathaiva Kshobhayamasa Trailokyam Sacharacharam. And then Mahishasura again resumed his previous form, the original form as buffalo. And Tathaiva Kshobhayamasa, he shook all the three worlds, which were filled with chara, achara, living and non-living beings, and created havoc. So again, this refers any human being when he comes up from Tamasa Guna, when Mahakali has already tackled that Tamo Guna in a person, he will not have any worldly attractions, and he will not be lazy or complacency, and he will be with so much of energy to move forward, Rajoguna. So as a sadhaka, he uses his Rajoguna to come away from Tamoguna and to rise up. In this process, there are all the chances that he becomes the victim of that ego. I am doing all these sadhanas. I am a better person now. I know this. I am doing such good work. My path is the best one. My guru is the best one. So all these things are nothing but becoming the victim of the pride, which is happening because of that Rajoguna being so much in him. So among all pride, it is the spiritual pride, the ego of spiritual ego is too hard to control or to come out of it. And this Mahishasura is the symbol of strength, but with so much of pride, arrogance, and that ego, which is surrounded by all other negative qualities, Madamatsara, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. So, once a person gives himself as a victim to this ego, there is no way one can go beyond Rajoguna. He will start becoming the negative Rajo evil. Then the battle will be too hard, like it is happening to Mahishasura with Devi. So one should be very careful when they come to the level of Rajoguna. How to use this Rajoguna in moderation and come out of that Rajoguna. How to grow out of that Rajoguna. So this Mahishasura is telling us. ततः क्रुद्धा जगन्माता चण्डिका पानमुत्तमम् पपौ पुनः पुनश्चैव जहासारुणलोचना. Then the Chandika, the mother of the universe, Jagannmata, Chandika, she being so much enraged with having consumed that pana, her eyes also became so red. Tatha kruddha, with so much of anger, she was filled with anger. And Chandika, panamuttamam, she drank, consumed the best quality of drinks. Papau punaschaiva, again and again, she drank the best quality. Panam uttamam, panam here, drink. Uttamam. Jahasa, and she started laughing, roaringly laughing. Jahasa. And she was again and again laughing, drinking again and again the pana. She was filled with so much of krodha on Mahishasura. At the same moment, this Mahishasura, what was he doing? Nanadda chasurha sopi balaviryamadodhatah Vishanabhyam cha chikshepa Chandikam pratibudharam. This Asura being intoxicated by his own strength, he started dancing. And through his horns, he started digging the parvata and splashing it on Devi. Sajatan prahitam stena saja pran prahitam stena churnayanti sharotkaraihi. उवाच तं वदोद्धूत मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम्. So with what she had drunk, the pana, she also became intoxicated. What did she do? Saja tan prahitan stena, that mountain which was hurled at her, churnaya masa, she made it into powder, churna, with sharotkaraihi, with lots of arrows from her side. See the difference. In the beginning, when that Chikurasura or Chamara, one of them, when they were shooting the arrows on Devi, it was making no impact on her, as though she is the Meru Giri, Chikurasura, I think. But here, the mountain was hurled on her, which was Churnaya Masa, which was powdered by her arrows. See the opposite effects. उवाच तं मदोद्धूत मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम्. And being intoxicated, she started speaking with flurried verse, stumbling, with words not clear. So you can well imagine. Devyuvacha. And then she said, Devi spoke out with that flurry words. What did she say? Garja garja kshanam moodha madhu yavat pibamyaham maya tvai hatetraiva garjishyantyaashu devata. Garja, garja, shout, shout as much as you want until I drink my madhu. Keep shouting whatever you want. Garja, garja. And when you are killed by me, all these devatas will be shouting. They all will be garjishyanti. They all will be shouting with so much of joy. And see how beautifully madhu is used. First, they said, panam uttamam. In that mantra, panam uttamam, the best drink. And then madhu. So here madhu, even though it is intoxicating Devi, she is not losing her mind or intelligence. Everything is under her control. And that madhu is intoxicating her in such a way that she is able to kill Mahishasura. To kill Mahishasura, she is taking that madhu as we put the ghee into the yajna. Like that, she is using that madhu. Rishiruvacha eva muktva samutpatya sarudhatam mahasuram padena kanthe cha shulenainamatadayat. So she said like that. But did she take too long? It was only she was sipping. Like when we are too thirsty, we are drinking the water if someone asks the question, we won't give the answer at once. We finish whatever we are drinking. When we are halfway through, we won't stop. We drink fully and then tell them what the answer would be. So like that, Devi is drinking and talking at the same time within a fraction of a second. Garja, garja, how long? Not much, not much at all. In the very next mantra, Rishi is telling, Eva Muktva, telling like this, Samutpatya. Having said this, Devi leapt on that Mahishasura. Sarudhatam Mahasuram. She landed on that Mahishasura. And then she held his kantha through her feet. So she put her feet on his kantha and she pierced through, poked him. Shule nainam atadayate. She poked him through his shula, through her shula. We being the devotees or sadhakas of Devi, we see it as a very positive, auspicious thing one can go through what Mahishasura went through. Isn't it? So, it is such a big fortune. Devi stepping on the throat, Vishuddhi Chakra, and then piercing through Shula. It is just a fraction of a second for her to clear off all the negativity from us, Mahishasura, who is there in us. When we take it as Devi in the conscious form, and if the consciousness is poking us again and again, and all the negativity oozing out, vomited out, and pressing of her feet, which is energized with positivity and knowledge. How lucky we are, how fortunate we are to be that person, to be touched by that consciousness. We won't be zombies anymore. We will be awakened. But having that negativity so much filled, the embodiment of negativity, Mahishasura, he's not seeing it in that way at all. It's not possible. So he's getting angry on her. He's not happy with it. Even in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when Vivekananda was sitting, he just gave one kick from his foot on his chest, and Vivekananda went into that samadhi, and he experienced those moments of ananda, bliss. So if a seeker gets this chance of getting kicked by none other than Devi in conscious form, what else is needed, isn't it? So we should be that fortunate person. Next. ततः सोऽपि पदाक्रान्तः तया निजमुखात् तदा अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासीत् देव्या वीर्येण संवृतः. That ततः सोऽपि, he too being kicked, padakrantah, being kicked by her leg, he was overpowered by Devi's Viryam, the valor. Devya Viryena Samvritah. He was overpowered by that. And what happened to him? Half of his Mahishasura was gone. Ardha Nishkrantah Eva. As though he's half dead. He was overpowered by her Virya. So, अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासौ युध्यमानो महासुरः तया महासिना देव्या शिरच्छित्त्वा निपातितः. So he's half dead and half of that Mahishasura is gone. In spite of it, that the other half who was still there with his strength, he started fighting with her again. Yudhyamano Mahasuraha. He started again fighting with her. Taya Mahasina Devya. And then he was cut off. The head was cut off by her sword. Asina. Asi means the sword. Big Asi. Mahasina. With her big sword, which was divine sword. Again, we seekers can see it as a very auspicious thing. What can happen to a seeker if that consciousness passes through us like a sword, like a lightning, even for a moment? It will have its positive, divine impact on us, and it can make us get liberated. Shirachitva nipatitaha, that head fell down. So when the negativity is gone from this being, what is left is nothing but Sat Chit Ananda. Tato ha ha kritam sarvam daitya sainyam nanashatat praharsya cha param jagmuhu sakala devata gana. Whole Asura army, they started crying out, ha, ha, with lamenting over the death of their king, Mahishasura. They all started lamenting, ha, ha, ha. Whereas the Devgana, Devas, started also rejoicingly, ha, 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 with so much of joy. That is what Devi meant in the previous mantra. Garja, Garja, now you shout. Afterwards, Devaganas will also Garjayashyanti. They also will shout. But there is a big difference. One is negatively, lamentingly, ha, ha. Another one, positively, ha. See how we can be filled with both negative and positive using the same one thing, being one being. Both are there. So one has to be balanced and be in the middle. तुष्टुस्तां सुरादेवीं सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः जघुगन्धर्वपतयो ननृतुश्चाप्सरो गणाः. They were all relieved, all the devatas and rishis, Gandharvas, Apsaras, because that Mahishasura was not there along with his Asuras who were creating so much of havoc, converting this beautiful world as imbalanced, terrific samsara. They are gone. It is nothing but just the joy, just the pleasantness, shanti. So they all praised, extolled Devi. Sahadivyaihi Maharshibihi. All the great sages along with Devas and also Gandharva, they all started praising and singing, and Apsaras started dancing with so much of joy. Swasti Shri Markandeya Purane Savarnike Manvantare Devi Mahatmye Mahishasuravadho Nama Tritiyodhyayah. So there ends the third chapter. So what can we understand by this? Mahishasura, after Madhu and Kaitaba, who were killed by Mahakali using the Tamoguna, now the next one is Mahishasura. How did he behave? How did he tackle himself? Mahishasura is a combination of beastly nature with humanly competence. Both are there. And he is using Rajoguna in a very negative way, which is taking a downward dip towards Tamasa. And the same Rajoguna, which is divine, not evil Rajo, divine Rajoguna, Devi is using, Devatas are using, which will make them go towards the Sattva Guna. So Rajoguna is like the bridge in the middle, which is positive and negative. The negative Rajoguna is very close to Tamas. The positive Rajoguna is very close to Sattva. And the effect will also be different. So the goal of Rajoguna is both are goal oriented, but they are moving in different directions. And Mahishasura signifies the lust, anger, and other negative qualities. They are all animalistic instincts. However, we being the human beings, we cannot live with that negativity as our nature. Because even the animals use anger, lust, all those things as only defense for their survival. But we human beings have better mechanism which we have to use, the wisdom, the intellect, we have to use and see that is there any way I can come up away from that animalistic instincts and try to go towards Sattva Guna, which will make me get liberated from the animalistic life cycle, birth and death. We are also nothing but animal in human form until we use the wisdom and the intellect and try to go in the positive way, in the divine way, towards Sattva Guna. So, by Mahishasura, what can we understand? If we look at Mahishasura, how he used different tactics, like hitting by muzzle, trampling by hooves, lashing by tail, tearing by horns, the speed, the roaring, the wailing, blast of his breath so strongly. These are all pure negative expressions of Rajoguna. So if we look at it, even we human beings also use these things. How even we show these fury or anger in the same way, like thinking of it, talking about it, or playing around it, or seeing, planning, plotting in that way, and then wishing for it, having determination to carry on that, and finally accomplishing it. These are all the negative things which we also do. Why do we do it? That also we have to see. As a human being, I am living as I am the body, I am the mind. I have become the victim of the notion that I am the body, I am the mind. So, for the survival of I am the body and the mind, I use many tactics to survive in this world as an individual. Those tactics are helping us to be pinned in this world for ever and ever, going through the cycles of birth and death, because I'm boosting that individual pride or ego, the false I, the small I, which is nothing but the notion of the mind. To pamper that or to make that strong, I'm using so many tactics. They might look very simple, but unknowingly, those tactics which I'm using. The simplest example, to say, I'm not happy with what you are saying, or I don't agree with what you are doing. Instead of being straight, make him understand what we do. We give so many other reasons, or we go away from him, or we induce some other thing to make him understand. We use so many tactics. It is so simple. Or if you don't like someone, the presence of that person, if we don't like it, we give so many other reasons instead of saying directly what it, I'm not happy the way you are behaving. We use indirect ways, tactics. Why? I want to be in good books of everyone. So in the process, what happens? To be in the good books of the whole world, everyone, I am compromising on so much of the reality, the truth, and I'm going away from my own original state as just the consciousness. I'm using different ways of surviving myself. So when that pride or that aham overpowers the being, we become so scared to give up this body. We become afraid of death. To escape that death also, we try many other ways, tactics, skills to survive in this body as long as possible. Survive in the mind as long as possible. If it is not possible in this birth, let me take another birth and accomplish that. I want to survive. So we are stuck forever and ever and ever. Instead of that, if we surrender to Devi, that is surrender to consciousness, because she is in the conscious form within. If we seek that consciousness, Devi, naturally there won't be the fight, there won't be the battle, but there will be only the knowledge, prajnana, that I am that consciousness. I am that Devi. I am given this mind and the body to experience what the whole thing is. But I am not the body itself. It is only an instrument. I am not the mind. It is only an instrument. So that stepping back from I am the body, I am the mind, that jnana, prajnana will help us to stay calm, peaceful, blissful at all situations without any fight, without any battle, because we are not trying to survive. We are living to enjoy, to experience that consciousness, how wonderfully it is playing around in the universe, world, as a physical, transient, beautiful world. So Mahishasura is telling us so much. And one more thing, if we observe, until Mahishasura, who was changing his forms so many times, until he could come back to his original form, even Devi could not kill him totally. She was able to kill him only when he came back to his original form. So what does it say? Until I come back to within, not being extrovert, posing different faces of my own self. I project myself as in so many different forms. As those things, I will not be able to come in touch with Devi. Only when I go within, giving up all those faces which I am projecting, I have to come away from those. Maybe I'm a friend, maybe I'm mother, sister, enemy, a lover. It can be anything. All those faces will not help me at all. They are all only instruments to interact in the world. But for me to get in touch with Devi, who is in the conscious form, for her to do the operation on me, I have to become my own original self. So I have to withdraw and become face to face with that Devi and request her. I'm readily surrendering myself. You carry on the operation. I'm your vehicle. I'm that lion. I'm in close touch with you. Maa Durga, I surrender. My mind is surrendering to you. My anthakarana is surrendering to you. Please carry on. That surrender will certainly help us to come out of the negativity which we are all carrying without our own knowledge. We are experiencing those negativities, but we are not recognizing it. Every one of us. All those negativities are there as asuras, but we have to recognize and tackle them with the help of being in touch with that consciousness every day, all the time. That way we will be aware of those asuras popping up their head again and again, now and then, here and there. So there is so much to learn from this Durga Saptashati. Om Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti Om. Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti Om. Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti Om.